sure these rollers on it.
Oh, what in there ain't got them?
No.
Let's get one in here.
There you got one. Got one. Set right.
Hey, hello, folks. Welcome to the Let's Go Fishing show. I'm Steve Cox, your host, and my guest tonight's Mike Cox.
Yeah.
He's the funny one of the bunch. So,
Yeah.
All right, hey, I want to tell all you ladies and especially my wife Sherry, happy Valentine's Day, and Sherry, and happy birthday. Tomorrow's her birthday, and so you know I get hit double on that, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
sure
afford
do.
it.
She's good, sure is. So happy birthday, hon. All right, all you ladies, happy Valentine's Day to you watching the show tonight. We got last week we were so busy, I forgot to remind you all that was our anniversary show. Last week we'd been on for been here for a year, Mike.
We've been here a year or two.
Yeah, you didn't think you'd make it.
No, I sure did. Glad to make it, though.
Yeah, glad you made it. I'm tickled to death you made it too. Folks, I am very happy to be here for a year, and I hope we get another year in. A lot of changes, a lot of things, water over the dam, that kind of thing. But everybody asks me, do I like doing the show? I enjoy doing the show. I really do. The only time I don't enjoy it is when I feel like I'm not prepared for the show. Tonight's one of those nights. We don't have much film. Weather's been bad. I hadn't been able to get there. Mike wanted me to go shovel the ramp off down there at Ladd Landing today, and I told him there's no way. I was busy shoveling the driveway off the house, so I needed to get in and out of the house before I could do the launch ramp down there.
There was one at the launch ramp at Emory had put in this evening when I went by.
Yeah, well, now, we might have got in there at Little Emory. That ramp there's not that steep, but I'd hate to think what happened there at Ladd Landing.
Yeah.
Huh? I'll just tell y'all a little quick story. We fell in up there at Point 19 one March or February morning there, and it was 28 degrees, and traffic backed up. They must have been 75, 80 boats in line there, I guess. And the first 10 or 12 got in pretty good, no problem. That concrete there at ramp, they were dragging that lake water up on that ramp there, and there was about 7 or 9 crossways there at one time, wasn't it, Mike? Yeah. I mean, we had a multi-car pile-up right there on the boat ramp.
Yep.
And so the lake was still down quite a ways, and a lot of that ramp was exposed, and there's two lanes there, and 3 or 4 in each lane. They was all jammed up, motors run through radiators, and the foot of the motors, and this, that, and the other, and so we wound up going out there kind of in the gravels, finally getting put in there. They got all that mess straightened out. So you never know, about these boat ramps. Kind of got to be careful when that temperature's down below freezing. Mike.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of things happen. Some fella told Mike he wished we'd show the bloopers.
Yeah. I told him that we would, but I couldn't get you to film yourself.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell y'all one on me last week. I went over to Edgemore Outdoors and purchased me a new fishing rod. And, well, actually, I bought one before Christmas, and I wanted another one like it. And, so Jim got it for me, and I went over there and got it, paid for it, and it's still in the plastic. And I had my camera sitting there beside the door, and I reached down and grabbed the camera, started out the door. Well, snap. That's all there was to it. You talking about a grown man crying. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, it's still in the plastic bag, and I broke her. So,
Bought a lot of minnows for that $100.
I wish it was just $100. I guarantee you. So that was embarrassing. Jim's wife, Jeannie, just sitting there dying, laughing at me. What the heck? I wished I'd had it on camera, but I had the camera in the bag. So anyway, it's been a while since I broke a rod like that, but it happens. So just thought I'd let you know. We got a film tonight after we show this Heartland weigh-in. It's called Hillbilly Quick Start, and we're going to show that to you. And I hope I can keep from laughing enough. I've watched that thing about 3 times today, and it just I just hope you get it what it's trying to show you there. So we'll be showing that here sometime after a while, and I want to make sure you get that. But weather has been bad, and it's been a little aggravating for us to get on the water and this kind of thing. So we're going to show you this Heartland weigh-in, and then we'll come back and talk about that tournament we had up there. Mike and I attended, but we didn't fish much. So
didn't catch much, that's for sure.
We sure didn't catch much, that's for sure. So, but we were were there present at the time, but we just didn't do much good. So anyway, we'll come back and talk about that. Herschel, take us to the film.
Folks, we're up here at the Heartland on point 19, and Mike Melton and Mr. Sharp got a good bag of fish here. I think they said about 17 pounds. I'll get them on the camera here in a minute and get some info.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. Nice bag of fish, guys. Come on in just a little bit closer. Perfect, man. I tell you what, folks, there's a good bag of smallmouth. Boys, them's dandy. Was the floating working good today?
Never throwed it.
You were supposed to say use a pink floater. All right, but hey, appreciate you guys. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks, we got George Carroll's weighing in. I'm sure Mr. Carroll caught all them fish. How much, George? 13, 15. Good catch, Mr. Carroll.
Paul should have waited. He could tuck them other fish. We wasn't on our toes, was we?
I wasn't on my toes. $3.20.
Well, we did early, but we didn't do that quick.
With 17 pounds and 390, Sharp and Melton.
I don't. Them 4 boys up the valley up there. I got 3 people float. They'll show that they'll play 3 feet.
Second place goes to Carroll, and Carroll with 13.50.
Okay. I believe it.
right, George. That's a good deal.
Just needed more boats.
Just needed more boats, yeah. Hey, folks, I got Mike Melton here, the winner of the Heartland here at Point 19. Mike, you had a pretty good day, son.
Had a great day.
Had a great day. That's a good deal. Good, nice, beautiful bag of smallmouth, almost 18 pounds worth. And did you miss a lot of fish? Catch a lot?
No, we didn't catch a lot. I think we caught 9 fish, had 7 keepers. We let 1 fish off that we knew was probably a keeper. But that's all we let off.
Yeah.
But all the fish was 40, 45 foot deep.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
So again, boy, that's out there.
That's deep. You just have to make your mind up to sit out there and
wait on it.
wait on them. They're that deep.
Well, there you go, folks. That's the best tip that a man can give you right there. Once you know that's the hard part of the battle, ain't it?
Sitting on the bank won't get it.
Sitting on the bank won't get it. Mike,
Oh,
congratulations.
thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
All right, folks, we're back, and you got that good tip there from Mike Melton. He was, said they was fishing out there 40, 45 foot of water, Mike.
It's a good stringer smallmouth, I know that.
They sure did. They had a pretty bag of fish. All 5 of them smallmouth. That's a pretty good deal. I think George Carroll there, he had 13 pounds something, and he had, I think, a couple of largemouth, maybe a Kentuck, but he also had 2 or 3 smallmouth in his bag. I don't really remember exactly. I know I seen a Kentuck and at least 1 largemouth, or maybe 2 largemouth and a couple of 3 smallmouth. So, pretty good little bag of fish. They didn't have many boats, but the electronics, folks, it was a big key up there.
Most definitely.
We saw there wasn't any fish in there past 25, 30 feet. I mean, when you went past that, you didn't see anything, Mike.
Didn't see nothing. Hardly even seen any minnows.
Didn't see any minnows. A lot of minnows up next to the surface that were, just, well, we call them a shad keel.
Mm-hmm.
Basically they're just laying there just quivering with it, and then they'll just roll up, and you don't know if they're going to survive or not, and then some of them floating up and that kind of thing. So, yeah, the water temperature got down in the 40s and 38 to 40 degrees up there, and so a lot of shad was, instead of being down there in that 20 to 30 foot range, they were kind of up on the surface, a lot of them. But
Yeah, Melton said that water was 41 over in the Powell when they went over there.
yeah, 41 in the Powell, and then 38 there that morning when we started out
38.
there at the boat ramp. And we got 1 fish, Mike and I, and we were fishing there, and we got 1 fish in the boat that weighed 385 or something like that, and missed 4 more in less than 10 minutes. We should have had our limit on a good bag of fish, and they just come unhooked. You can't. You can't do nothing. And we were sitting in 33 to 35 foot of water, and they just came unhooked. We had, 4 or 5 good bites right there real quick. And then when the wind quit, the bite quit for us.
Too.
Yeah, it slicked off there, and that's, you don't see a lot of that this time of year up there on that lake. It gets slick and calm, look like a mirror. So, it was hard to get a bite. We ran down the lake there towards Stardust and fished some of them bluff lines up through there, and still didn't get a bite. And the water was real clear, which I had my floating fly rod there in the box, but Mike wouldn't let me get it out. I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
pretty good.
And that kind of thing. But anyway, that was the deal there. Congratulations to Mike and Paul there on that good bag of fish up there on North last weekend, and like I said, we just kind of struggled. George and his dad had a nice little bag of fish for up there too. Just didn't have many boats, and that was due to the weather. Everybody, it was predicted to get the snow
Yeah.
And it turned out pretty nice. And then there, whenever we started home, why it kind of got a little misty rain and started raining on us there at the top of the hill coming up from the ramp, didn't it, Mike?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
So about a little after 4 o'clock there Saturday afternoon. So probably that kind of kept several of the boulders away from that kind of stuff. I got this film. I want you all to really watch this thing, and you'll have to watch it at least twice to catch what they're saying, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. I've asked Herschel to show it twice, back to back. It's kind of like a blooper, but it's called the Redneck Quick Start. So Herschel, show us that right there, will you?
Starboard, go starboard.
Both of them in the lake.
Yeah.
Go. I don't know nothing about it. You got to stay on. Yes. Can we turn the front end around a little bit? Yeah, to the right. Go to the right. Go to the right. Yeah, you other right. Oh, okay, perfect thing. Starboard. Go starboard. Redneck.
What is it?
Yeah, and one in the seat he comes into. He's leaving her.
All right, folks. I guess we're back to us, right, Herschel? Okay. Okay, Herschel. You're gonna need the medic, folks. Mike, you hadn't seen that till then, but man, I saw it 2 or 3 times there this afternoon. I couldn't believe it. My brother-in-law sent that to me and wanted to make sure I got it on the show, and I thought, well, heck, you'd have to know my brother-in-law because he's about like one of them in that boat. Anyway, I looked at it, and I said, yeah, I'm going to try to figure out how to get it on the camera here where I can show it to you folks. But, Mike, a couple little tips there. The starting fluid that they were using was bug spray.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that just lets you know how volatile that stuff is. It's kind of like you get a can of WD-40 and you think, well, that's a lubricant. Well, you don't want to spray WD-40 around any kind of open flame, I can tell you. Mm-hmm. But the bug spray was the same thing, but I don't know what they were trying to do. But anyway, that's one thing you don't want to be doing, Mike.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So just remember that tip, folks. You're sitting right on top of a 50-gallon of gasoline or 25-gallon of gasoline. Most of the boats, the gas tank's either under the seats or back in the back of the boat, and you kind of want to be careful about where you start those fires at, Mike.
Yeah, definitely.
So you want to remember that for sure. That thing could have got really bad right there. They may have done it for fun or whatever, but it could have been a serious thing on that situation, so you want to kind of be careful about it. make sure you got your fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And you know where it's at, and it's up to date, and you know it's good and all that kind of stuff. And didn't see a life jacket on anybody.
No.
Didn't see one laying around in the boat either. So you know, just little things like that right there might save you some trouble, for sure. But I thought we'd definitely get a kick out of that and that kind of thing. Mike, I'm going to make a couple of announcements, and then we're going to turn this thing over to Mike here. He's got some spinner baits and some blades and things of that nature. He wanted to talk about the spinner baits. He asked me worms or spinner baits. I said, well, it's a little early for a plastic worm, even though we did have a caller there a few shows back wanting to know about plastic worms and this, that, and the other. We definitely will do that in a few days. But Mike's going to talk about the spinner baits, and I got a couple of more things to talk about. The first thing I wanted to mention to you all, this free fishing trip I mentioned the other week. Now, there's going to be some restoration cards and a box at the sponsors. And Amy's making one more change on this ticket right here. That's where you'll fill that out, drop it in the box. And we'll decide once I get the boxes out, and I hope to have everything in place by next week, next show, if not the following show. And we'll run this for 4 or 5 weeks, Mike. Gather up all the tickets, bring them in here, and you know, there's about 3 questions on there that I'd like for you to answer. Is how did you hear about the giveaway and this, that, and the other, and from a friend, or did you see the show, or what have you? But we, you know, to get in on the fishing trip, you know, fill this out, drop it in the box, and we'll gather all those things up 4 or 5 weeks later and let the weather get a little better, Mike, about that time, and then we'll draw a winner. And then that winner and I is going to decide what they want to do. You know, you want to go to Watts Bar, Norris, Fort Loudon, you want to crappie fish, bass fish, I'll go with you trout fishing. What, you know, it's kind of going to be up to you. Decide what you want to do. So that's kind of the plan, and but be looking for that, and I'll definitely let you know when I get the boxes in place. You can go by there, and they're going to be mentioning it to you, and you mention it to them. You know, the boxes will be sitting there, and that kind of thing. Get involved in this free fishing trip from the Let's Go Fishing show, and be more than glad to take you. So we'll see how that works out, and get that done.
If you're buying the gas, I definitely want to get in on that.
Well, now, wait a minute, Mike. There's going to have to be some limitations on this thing, you know. I can't run no 110 miles up the river there just because you want to put in at the dam and go to the other dam.
Said free trip.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, you can't. You've got to have time to fish. You can't be running all over the lake. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, every now and then I like to stop and put the trolling motor down, you know.
You want to supply the food too, ain't you?
Well, yeah, I guess I can. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. You know, it won't be like a shore lunch, but we'll have a good sandwich or something.
Well, I was thinking Hardee's to start off with.
Yeah, Hardee's to start off with. That's what. Yeah, okay. Well, now, we can just stop and get a biscuit on the way, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Mike, you keep on. We'll have to leave at 12 midnight just to have time to fish.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, folks. Don't let him get you distracted. Just remember about signing up for the show, and like I said, there's a few little questions there: name, address, phone number. Definitely, you got to have that information, email address, and if you got one, and you know, from how did you hear about the offer, and was watching the show from a sponsor or from another person. So be looking for that, and hopefully we'll get that done. And if we have a good thing this spring, or, you know, spring, early summer type response on this thing, we'll try to do one this fall.
Yeah, we
might get the crappie fishermen involved in it this fall, or you know, bass fishermen, whatever. And heck, if the winter wanted to, we'll make a night trip. Yeah, we'll go to Norris or somewhere and try to catch some smallmouth or largemouth. You know, whatever they want to do. The winter's going to have the decision to make of what they want to do, and if it's go to a farm pond or go over here on the river and trout fish, whatever. I'm going to be at their disposal with the camera and the boat if need be. So that's kind of deal.
Sounds awful good to me.
All right, Mike. I guess I'll let you put your name in the hat then. Okay, folks, moving right along. Right quick, I saw some pictures. Give y'all a little fishing report there. And I didn't get those. I tried to get a hold of this guy this afternoon to forward me them pictures and give me them names, but there was 2 big muskies caught on the Emery River this past Saturday, along with a big rockfish. And these guys were holding these, had these muskies up there. Man, they were huge. I don't know, Mike. The guy that was showing me the pictures said that, hey, this one fella was 5.5 foot tall, and he was holding that thing up like this, and the tail of it still touching the front of the boat. I mean, they were whoppers. I don't know how much they weighed. I don't know if they even weighed them, but they sent the pictures to this other guy, and he showed them to me. And I was trying to get in touch with him this afternoon to forward them to me, and he wasn't answering his phone. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'll try to get more info on that, but I did see those 2 big muskies that they caught there Saturday on the Emery River. Mm-hmm. So I do know that for sure. I don't know what these muskie guys do, but these were caught on artificial bait. So makes a lot of difference, Mike. That's probably how you get your line broke down there a lot.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be. We've got the fishing trip talked about, and I told y'all about the fishing. And Mike, you went crappie fishing the other day before you get into this spinnerbait talking. Huh?
Sure did. Me and Scotty, and nephew, we went down to Blue Springs, got down there, I guess about 11 o'clock, and eased out of the holler looking some things over, and got out toward the mouth of the holler. Water was still fairly clear. Kept looking at electronics there and trying to find some crappie. We hit a couple of trees and never got a strike out of them. And I eased over on the right-hand side where that ledge comes out there, and next to the end of the holler there at the mouth of it. And I think we caught 4 down there. They was about 31, 32 foot. And I said, well, let's go on down the river. And we went out on the river and fished the biggest part of the day. And fished a lot of good brush piles, but we never had a strike. And then we come back in the mouth of the holler there in Hornsby and got on some crappie there. And I think we ended up with 12 good keeper crappie there on them minnows. But the water was a little bit clear in there. And out there where that water was dirty, we couldn't get a strike for nothing. And we was out 45, 50 foot deep, and plumb into 15, 20 foot of water. And Scotty talked to a boy that had put in down there, and he said he had 4 or 5. And he come right by us. I think he was fishing a little shallower than what we was. But it was a fair day, but it wasn't as good as what we've had before. I think this water clears up better. Them crappie will come on with it down there.
Okay. All right, Mike, that sounds pretty good. You ain't eat them crappie yet, have you?
No, but I'm waiting to.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure when you got ready to eat them, you'd let me know about it. I didn't want you to eat them up and me not know nothing about it. You can invite me up to eat them.
I'll call you and let you know how good they are.
Yeah, that's what I figured. All right. Tell us about your spinnerbaits there, Mike.
Well, spinnerbaits has been around a pretty good while. And, of course, we don't make near what we used to make. Used to, everything we fished with, we made it. From the crankbaits, the spinnerbaits, the jigs, flies, everything but worms. And we even tried fooling around with them some. But basically a spinnerbait, and you start out with these wires, you can either buy a roll of wire or you can buy them already made. Then we got her mold and get her hooks and bend the loop on it, just the same loop as up here. Put your hook in there and pour it in the mold and come out with the head like that. And start from there, and then there's where your challenge comes in on what size hook you want, how big a head you want. Then you go to figuring out what spinner you want to put on it. And there's a large variety of spinners. From these little bitty ones right there.
Yeah.
Great old big ones.
Yeah.
And 3 different types of spinners. You got the Colorado blade. You got a Indiana blade, which is long and slender. Then real slender, you go to a willow leaf, like this one.
Right.
But then again, there's different light reflection off of them, from a smooth one as this one is to a hammered blade, we call it. It's got the little dimples in it all over.
Right.
Of course, Strike King's always had this, what we call the prison stripe. It's got the stripes down it. You get a lot of different light reflection off of that, depending on the color of water you're fishing and everything, on what you need. When you're building one of them spinner baits, put that front spinner on with a little harness there, they call it. Slide you a couple of beads on it, and then bend your wrap out on the end of it where you can hang your swivel and put your big blade on it. And we usually use a smaller blade up front and a bigger one in the back. There's a lot of different colors of blades, from the silver to the bronze colored one, the copper colored one, and even the painted blades. There's a lot of different variations that you can use on a spinnerbait. Probably more of that in a spinnerbait than there are any bait out on the market, as far as what all you can use. And as far as skirts, there's so many different colors and combinations. You just make up whatever you want there. Chartreuse and white,
right.
red, pink, blue, just any color you can think of that's in the rainbow. They probably make a skirt that color, all the way to the watermelon, the green pumpkins, and different type of skirts, whether you want a rubber skirt or you want this new synthetic type material. Silicone, yeah.
Yeah.
And shoot, we've even tied hair on them before.
Yeah.
That's what the original ones had to start with. Hair on it. I think you had one of them got from Mr. Brown down there at Snagless Sally, he called it that. That's what it come out with, was hair on it.
Yeah, and then now they got the old nylon skirt on them. Yeah. That's exactly right.
So, spinnerbait is a tool that you can fish with any time of year too. I don't think it water really gets too cold, and I don't think it gets too hot for a spinnerbait. It's just a matter of getting it close enough to when it's feeding. I've heard of people catching them in 35-degree water on a spinnerbait in the back of them creeks and stuff, especially up north. And I don't know that it gets too hot to fish it in the summertime, because you just keep go to a bigger head and just keep getting deeper with it.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, you're exactly right, Mike. I've always thought it was the most versatile bait in your tackle box. You can throw it out there and fish it on pretty much on the surface all the way to the boat. Kind of wind it a little fast and a lighter head, or you can put you a heavy head on and fish it 30, 40, 50 foot deep if you want to wade on it. Get a big enough head. And you can throw it on the bank in a brush pile or in clean water. It's kind of versatile, what you can do with it.
And pretty weedless too.
Yeah.
Pretty weedless.
The longer the arm, the more weedless it is, if you keep it moving, and when it lays over on its side, then there's a chance for it to hang up. But as long as it's setting up there straight, it'll come up over them limbs, fall right back down. Like I said, you can hang it up, but it's not like throwing a crankbait with a treble hook in there, Mike. It's a lot better than that as far as getting snagged up. Now I'll tell you, it's even in grass. You can throw them things. You get. I like to drop down to a single blade on my spinnerbait when I'm throwing it in grass, whether it be a willow leaf or a Colorado blade, that kind of thing, and you get different vibrations off that spinnerbait, Mike. from the willow leaves to a Colorado or Indiana blade. It makes, they're just a different shake to the bait and to the trailer, depending on the blades and the situation, whether you want a lot of flash or a little flash.
Yep.
On it. So it makes a lot of difference. And I'll tell you one thing, Edgemore Outdoors, old Jim's loaded up on spinnerbait stuff over there now, folks. And the Tennessee rigs, they're putting the blades on those now, and he's got a lot of stuff over there to for you guys. It's to repair the ones you already bought, or the ones you bought from him. You lose a spinner or what have you. He's got the stuff to fix that with, the little swivels and the snaps and all that. He's stocking up on all that stuff, and he's got a lot of spinnerbait blades, the different colors, the painted blades, the blacks, the reds, red and black, and just on and on. So he's got a pretty good shelf of that stuff over there right now. If you're looking for any of that,
build your own A-rigs if you want to.
Build your own, or repair the ones you bought there at his place, and because you do lose a spinner, and when you hang that thing up, sometimes you're getting it loose. You'll break a spinner off or something like that, Mike, and you got to do a little bit of repair there. So he's got the stuff there to do that with. Mike, that was we'll continue to talk about that, and I'll make some more announcements here and photo of the month, folks. Like I said, last month was Sam Richardson and his son Travis. Send us those nice pictures in. I haven't seen anything this month, so and I hope Eli Copeland, you're watching down there in Nashville. Eli's grandpa lives in Harriman. He was a winner back a couple of months ago. Eli sent me some more pictures. I'm looking forward to hearing from him again. And Eli, you make sure you get the word there, man. Stay in contact with me and send us some more photos. We got a bunch of announcements here. I run into a gentleman at Edgemore Tackle last week, and then another gentleman, the president of the Clinch River Charter, Trouts Unlimited, called me, Buzz Buffington, their president, and on this fly tying, they're having a fly tying class right now. I said, man, every one of your classes, Buzz, is on the nights of the show. I said, I'd like to attend one, but can't do it. But they're February the 20th and February the 27th. If you're interested in that, I'm going to give you his number. It's 463-7167, and that's Buzz Buffington of the Clinch River Charter of Trouts Unlimited, and they're having a fly tying, I guess, a class to do that on February the 20th and the 27th. And then that group also has this Project Healing River, or Healing Water, up here with the disabled vets, and they got a gentleman, Steve Thompson's in charge of that. So that's another good thing they're involved in. And then July the 12th, they're going to have the Clinch River cleanup, and they do this every year. I didn't realize that, Mike.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
They go up the river up here and clean that, clean up all the trash and stuff around the shoreline, this, that, and the other. They, was telling me there's a lot of out-of-state people comes in here to fish this river up here, and we want to make a good example for them. So they go through there and clean that river up every year. So it's amazing what all they get out of there from year to year, old tires and that kind of thing. So folks, anything you throw away usually winds up in the river.
Yeah.
Some more, Mike. So, me thinking about that. But they do good, and we'll be talking more about that. They have TWRA involved in it and this, that, and the other. So we'll come on with that a little bit later on. Keep reminding you of that. You may want to get involved in that kind of thing. Be a good thing to do. And speaking of TWRA, folks, remember your fishing license run out here at the end of the month, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you forgot that a time or two, ain't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you had. I wasn't going to say nothing because they might, I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on that or not. You fishing without fishing license. But anyway, we will hope they won't hear nothing about it, maybe.
I drove 2 years on expired tags on my truck before I realized they was out. So.
Yeah. Okay, Mike. Yeah. Well, I ain't gonna tell them how long you went without knowing your fishing license had run out either. But anyway, yeah, that's coming up here this month, Mike. The end of the month, or you got to have new ones. Don't forget that. Folks, we got a lot of tournaments going on. Man, I'm telling you, this tournament schedule's got out of hand. I'm telling you that right now. Herschel, let's go ahead and I say out of hand, it's falling right in place. Everybody's gotten started up here and this kind of thing. Give me a little break and I'll get a drink of water. We'll come back and turn the phones on, and I'll announce these tournaments as we go along between calls and be done with it. Hey folks, I'm here at Tim's Tire, and I showed you there some of the piles of tires he's got down here. You truckers, he's got all kinds of tires for your on-the-road, off-road vehicles, your trucks, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, just like I said, he's got tires for everything. Come by here and see Tim. I know you're not going to beat his price. He won't let you beat his price. And so come by down here at Harriman, see Tim's Tire, and let him earn your business. And if, you know, nothing else, can't drive down here, call him, get the price on him. They'd be more than glad to give you that. And you know, they do the mounting and balancing up here in the tire shop, and brakes and struts and things of that nature, you know, on your vehicle if need be while you're there. So come on down and see Tim down here to Tim's Tire, going into Harriman on your left there. And also too, don't forget about these helmets. There's quite a few empty spaces out there, but there's still quite a few helmets. He's got them marked down half price. A variety of every kind of thing on the helmet. He's got some that's just the shell, some that's got without the visor, some with the flip up, flip down visors on them. So just come down here and visit with Tim on the tires and look these helmets over. And hope to see you tonight on the night show.
Folks, we're up here at the Heartland on point 19.
All right, folks, there we are. Tim's Tire. Don't forget that bunch down there. At Tim's, you can't beat them. This ain't no way. On the tournaments, talked with Glenn Reynolds this week, Mike. Yeah. And listen, if you crappie fishermen, I hope that some of you that really crappie fish are listening. Glenn's trying to get set up. He's wanting to put on a crappie tournament, fish fry, Mike. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's working up the details. And if you've got any input on how you'd like to see the weigh-in and done and all that kind of stuff, go by down there at Reynolds Racing Marine there in Harriman. He's going to have some boats. He's got some special from Express coming in, Express boats, aluminum boats, and for the crappie fishermen. You got these rod racks on across the back and all this kind of stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, and it's open to anybody, you know, Mike, you might want to get in on it. I don't know. But he's working up the details, and as soon as he gets it finalized, what date it's going to be, then I'll be announcing it and get involved in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of them getting ready to start looking for crappie boats and motors. One of the mechanics at work is already looking for a 20, 30 horsepower tiller handle motor. Said he wanted to get into doing some crappie fishing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be. Hey, it's on us, folks. You know, before I left home, they was already predicting 60 and 70-degree weather next week, Mike. Yeah. And I figured the moon's coming full. You'll be wanting to go night fishing here before you know it.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I don't doubt that'll be it either.
Done it before.
I know. Yeah, I know you have. Yeah, well, you used to sleep in the boat on the way home of the night. And I'd be driving, he'd be back there in the boat asleep. So, yeah, you wasn't supposed to have been doing that either, Mike. But anyway, folks, that's just one of the bunch of one of the many tournaments we got going on. We got a tournament going on at Caney Creek. Last one down there will be February the 22nd for the winter division. And you got one going out of on the Heartland. You got a tournament going out of Lad Landing this Saturday, Mike, on the 15th. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get all these tournament schedules on the Heartland, go to www.heartlandanglers.com, and you can pull that right up. There's a whole list of divisions: Tennessee Division, Virginia, South Carolina, Alabama. Get on the Tennessee Division, and you can pull up the schedule you want, whether you want to fish Fort Loudon, Tellico, Douglas, Cherokee, Watts Bar, Chickamauga, just on and on. You know, it's all right there. And you can pull up the division you want to fish. You'll see the dates there and that kind of thing. Doug Presley's got one out of Lad Landing coming off this Saturday, Mike. There at Lad Landing. So, you know, you just get on them there and get started about anything you want to there. Then also, too, over here at Heartland Anglers on Milton Hill, they've already had 2 tournaments, January the 18th, February the 8th. I haven't caught up with anybody to find out. Scott Winchester and Robbie Hazel's running that thing, and I hadn't got with them to see what the weights have been. But their next one is on March the 22nd, so over here at Milton Hill. So it just goes on. And then you got the Heartland Spring Starter on Chickamauga down at Dayton. Now you've got till this Saturday to get you after, if you're going to fish that, or you got to pay the late fee. So the 15th, which will be Saturday, got to have your entry form in, or you're going to have to pay the late fee if you register that morning of the tournament. So that's coming up here pretty quick. And then, like you said, that was to figure out how many people is going to show up so they can know how much help they're going to need from the police department down there on handling the traffic, Mike. So that's a good deal there, too. And then last week, we had James Knuckles over here. James got his volunteer bass trail. 2 levels of competition. He told all about that, which is a great deal on that thing right there. So, there's just all kinds of tournaments going on, Mike. He's got the orange and white division, a $50 entry fee per boat on the orange, and $150 on the white side. So, if you're going, whatever level that you want to participate in, it's our available. Good deal for that. Help with Phoenix boats and that kind of thing. Then you got the East Tennessee Catfish Anglers, guys. Boy,
Yeah.
I don't know, Mike. I'm going to get you on, I'm going to get me and you hooked up with that bunch right there. That's more up your line, I think, catching them catfish. And you just need to get into the bigger sizes of them, instead of all them little ones. Maybe they might put you on to something there. But their first tournament's March the 1st, guys, over here at Ish Creek there on Fort Loudon. Don't forget that bunch there. And I could have swore that I had a website for them. And I told you about the website for the Heartland. And, on the Tennessee Bass Trail, www.volunteerbasstrail.com. and get all the information, you know, on that. And I'm sure they'll probably, if you're looking for a flyer, an application, I'm sure I know both of them's got them right there on their website. So you got the phones on, Herschel? Okay, 10-4. So we got the catfish guys and this on. And then later on in the year, we've got Bunch Marine with this range. It's a Tennessee Valley Team Championship Series. They got 3 tournaments that you can fish. One of them's in April the 19th at Fort Loudon, $150 entry fee, $5,000 first place guaranteed. And then the second one is on 6/21, which is June, and it's on Watts Bar at Rockwood, and then another $5,000 entry. Winners take, you know, a guaranteed first place, and it's $150 entry. And that, you know, there's a lot of information and a lot of backup on this thing, folks. You need to go to that to the website there, www.bunch Marine, and pull that up, get all that info on this tournament, because Heartland's involved in it, Ranger boats, Triton, and on, and Mercury, just like that, and it gives their payout back here on the back sheet. And then you qualify for the Classic, Mike. You know, you can qualify for the Classic, and there's possibly $10,000 involved in that. So that's a pretty good deal. I'm going to try to get Brandon Coulter over here before his Tennessee Toad Trail starts. A lot of connections with that to the Bassmaster Classic, and I'll try to get him in here to talk about all that kind of business for that. So, you know, a lot of tournaments going on, Mike. Just everybody's, which we've always said, you know, we got a lot of resources around here. You know, Norris, Milton Hill, Fort Loudon, Tellico, and that ain't even counting Douglas and Cherokee.
Yes.
And then Watts Bar, and right on down to Chickamauga. So, and then, you know, if you wanted to venture over here in Middle Tennessee, you know, you could Center Hill, Dale Hollow, Old Hickory, just right there. You know, within 100 miles, Mike, you can be. I even like Fontana. It's just about 103 miles, 107 miles from my house to Fontana, but it takes you a couple hours to get there.
It takes a couple, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's 103 miles from the house to Sunset Bridge there on Dale Hollow. So, you know, that's a one-way trip naturally. But anyway, you know, within 100 miles here, you can be over here in Fontana or out on Dale Hollow. So that's a pretty good little deal. So let's see what this caller's got here, Mike. They may be wanting to see that redneck quick start again.
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Steve Cox?
Yes, sir, Mike.
How you doing, buddy?
Buddy, I'm doing good. You?
How about you, Mike? How you doing?
I'm hanging in with him.
Well, that was a good spinnerbait display that you had there earlier.
Yeah.
Y'all are just getting it all covered. Hey, I've got a question, then I've got something else I want to tell you.
All right.
My question is, do you know of anyone in Roane or Anderson County? I have got a 7-foot tall patio heater, propane patio heater that I've had for 3 years, and I had my student worker to put it together, and we left it out on the deck all summer without ever trying to start it for the first time, and he couldn't get it started. Plus, he has thrown away the owner's manual on it. Is there anybody in Roane or Anderson County that works on those things?
Mike, I'm trying to think. Is it propane?
Is you know, my dream of rigging out that pontoon boat for wintertime fishing too. I've got the heater covered in the cabin, but I want to put this patio heater in between the two bass seats up front.
Right.
To keep the wintertime fishermen even warm up there.
Yes, sir.
And but I don't know who works on those things.
It is propane.
It is propane. You know, it's got the big propane tank.
Yeah.
and it's called a patio heater. It's actually 7 foot tall, and the heat comes out the top. So I think it came from either Lowe's or Home Depot. I've had it, like I say, for about 3 years. But, you know, the warranty's out because I left it in the box over there in my workshop for 3 years. So, but I just need somebody that knows what they're doing.
Right.
To get that thing running.
Yeah, you don't want to be another redneck quick starter, right?
That crossed my mind when I saw that little clip.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a propane man. I'm not about to be a propane man.
All right, let's get it out here and on the audience here and see if somebody gives us a call and
if they call in and say that I should spray bug spray in it, give me another call.
All right, I'll do it.
One other thing I'm going to do, okay, buddy?
Yep.
I want either you or someone to call my cell phone number. I won't hear it ring, but I've got the answer machine on it. For you to leave me an address. What I want to do is I want to make a donation toward this taking somebody fishing. Just want to give back a little bit.
What?
And I want to give a donation. I just need an address to who to send it to, either to your house or to Channel 12 or wherever. Just leave me an address there on my cell phone, and I'll get that in the mail to you. And that way, that'll be a way for me to give back a little bit.
Man, listen, let me ask you a question. Can you come up here next week and do a show with me and Bill Nichols?
Buddy, I'd love to. You don't know how much I'd love to.
All right.
But right now, pal, I just my back is. I just can't. It's all I can do is get to the car, and I have to use a walker to get to the car. So, but if I improve any, I'll take you up on it. I just love to do that.
All right. I'll tell you what. I've been aiming to call you and ask you that. When you get healthy enough that you can do it, you let me know that Monday or Tuesday, and I don't care if you let me know Thursday morning before the show, and you just come on up here and you and Bill can have it.
Well, like I say, it may be a while, and it may have to be warm weather.
Okay.
Like I've got that degenerative arthritis with all those injuries on my back, and it seems to be worse in the winter, and I don't know if that's all in my head or not, but if I get to the point where I can, I'd love to do that.
All right, Mike. We'll
But
be.
until then, I'll be watching y'all every Thursday, and if I miss it on a Thursday, I'll have it back on there on a Saturday. I'll tell you that.
Okay, man. I appreciate it, Mike.
Have somebody to call my cell phone. Like I say, it won't ring down here because I'm
Right.
I'm right on the line to where my cell phone won't hardly work. But if they'll just leave the address, and I'll get that in the mail to you, buddy, and that way it'll help you out, even if they want to run up Lake 110 miles.
All right, Mike. I appreciate it. All right,
guys.
man.
Good show.
Thank you, man.
All right,
See you.
Big pal.
All right, bye. Okay, good to hear from Mike. Glad he's getting to watch the show there, and I appreciate him offering that help on the free fishing trip. Herschel, I wish we had time to close out with that redneck quick start again. We don't have. Okay, we may save that, and I might get something on Mike here and get a blooper on him. Might make that in there look bad. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show, and hopefully next week, like I said, all these fishing tournaments has kicked off here, and information's available to you either at your local sporting good store or on the website. And my sponsors, I can't thank them enough. So, like I said, I'll be letting you know about the free fishing trip, and they'll be at the bank, and they'll be at Bunch Marine, the tire shop, down at Reynolds and all that. So God bless you. Be safe. Watch the weather in the morning, and we'll see you next week.